Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Dark Arts Society podcast. This is your host, Chet, and this week I have a really excellent artist. I'm a big admirer of his work, and his name is Dave LeBow. His stuff is really great. He's a super cool guy, really easy to talk to, and really interesting story too. So that's coming up. And what's been going on with me? I've been doing commission, catch up, the usual. Nothing's really changed. I'm trying to sell. I've got this sale going on chetzar.bigcartel.com that I'm trying to promote, but Instagram doesn't seem to be promoting my posts very well, so I might have to do a ranting head video. But it's you buy an open edition 8x10 signed print, and you a horror movie icon print, and you get one free. So for every print you order, you get a free one of the 8x10s. So that's going on. Just finishing up commissions. That's pretty much it. If you want to support the podcast, you can support on Patreon, patreon.com/darkartsociety, and join for as little as $1. Get your name read on the podcast. You get perks. If you join at the $5 and above level, you get a 30% discount code for a human skull from Skull Shop, our sponsor, SKULLSHOPPE.com. Amazing skulls. I use for all my paintings. All my skulls. Oops. And also we have memberships now enabled on YouTube, so it's very easy to join. You can join and get the podcast, the audio podcast a day early, the video podcast early, and starting to try and build a little community on here. So if you're on YouTube a lot and you want to support, click the join now, or whatever that button is. It's in the body of the text here. If you want to see what I'm up to, I post all the time on my Patreon. It's patreon.com/chetzar. Join for as little as $1 as well. And is there anything else? I think that's it. Okay, that's all. Anyway, the interview is what you came for. It's a great one. Here we go with Dave LeBow. Oh, he's got a show coming up. I forgot to mention that in November. We mentioned it in the podcast. It's also going to be stated below in the body of the text. All right, here you go. Hope you like it. Hi, Dave.
Hi, Chad.
Welcome to the show, finally.
Thanks. I can imagine that music happening. That's one of my favorite things about your podcast is hearing that music intro there.
Oh, that's so cool. Thank you. That was one of my first explorations of Logic, that software, the recording software, music recording software.
So you composed that?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I play guitar, so I played the guitar and I played the bass, and then I programmed the drums when I was like a few years ago.
Wow. So I didn't know that was yours. I mean, that's amazing.
Oh, thanks.
So you're a musician. Besides being a painter, you're also a musician.
Yeah. I was trying to make it in the music business in the late 80s or to the late 90s for about 10 years.
Oh, that's something I did not know about you at all until right now. I had to. That I heard that your son or your kids were in a band or something. I thought I had heard that.
Yeah, my son's a drummer, and he tours. He toured with the English Beat, that band, the English Beat.
Wow,
for like 2
I love
years.
the English Beat.
Yeah.
Didn't they do Mirror in the Bathroom?
Yep, Mirror in the Bathroom, and
can't think of that.
Tenderness, right? Tenderness.
I know they're ska, real ska.
Yeah. That's his whole. I mean, he plays all kinds of styles, but he
played with the English Beat. That's amazing. He's
awesome. Played with all these like old ska and reggae people from the 60s. They're all old now, and there's this whole underground scene with younger people that are into this traditional 60s ska music that I would never know it existed, but he's in it. So
How
anyway,
old is his son now?
He's, let me see. I always forget. I think he's 34 or 35.
Oh, he's young. He's a young guy.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's got to be young. You're young.
Well, I'm almost 58 in a couple of weeks. So
I've got you beat by a lot of years. Chet.
Yeah.
I just hit 70 this year.
Well, you look amazing.
Oh,
I would never say.
I was pickled for many years, but I'm trying to exercise, eat healthy, all that shit.
Yeah,
that stuff.
You have a young attitude.
I try.
So yeah, I'm so excited to have you on because I think you're just a fantastic painter. I love your work, and so happy that you're at Copro showing because I just think they're the best gallery in town.
I'm honored you would say any of that.
Oh yeah, your stuff's amazing, and it's like I love the kind of pulp cover influence from the I feel like there's a influence from those old pulp book and magazine covers, and it's like if I wasn't doing what I kind of am doing with monsters, I would be doing stuff like what you're doing, which is like pulp kind of. I love that stuff so much. I mean, I've got a bunch of books on it. Those illustrator guys were so incredibly talented. Those guys who painted that stuff, I just love it.
I love that stuff too, but I'm equally impressed by your work. And I'm always amazed to look at the stuff that you do that you just pull. It seems to me like you're pulling it out of your head. The weird guys with the heads, like I'm one with the eyeball in the guy's head, and or the cigar smoking people. I mean, they're just so bizarre. And like, I always have to have reference. I related to the Tom Bagshaw interview that I watched yesterday, where he talked about he was so into figurative work that he had to always have reference. And that's how, I mean, I need to have reference. So I find models, and I've got my daughter for a long time to pose for a lot of things, and my wife and friends, neighbors. Well, now I can't use my daughter because she went away to college. So now I would get her and her friends. Now we're using all the kids in the neighborhood. I have them come over with their parents, and I'll.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
But anyway, I'm kind of diverging. You kind of.
No. I am a big. I'm a big fan of reference. It's something that, like, I don't know. I was very much like, I'm just painting out of my head for many, many years, and then I got to a point where it's like it's so useful to have reference that I started using it. I'm like, why was I killing myself all those years of not having reference? My dad was a painter. He used reference all the time.
That's
all
what
the
you
time.
alluded to that yesterday when I listened to the podcast. You said he had a mannequin that he would pose in light. What kind of a painter is? Oh, a figurative painter, and how can I find his work to see?
If you look up James Czar online, it'll come up. He was like a fantasy artist. Yeah, he was kind of like a Zen version of Frazetta, maybe. Like he was a big Frazetta fan, but he was like all into Eastern spirituality and stuff. So he's like lots of weird meditating people and fairies and people floating and just like really kind of psychedelic.
I'll look him up for sure.
Yeah, you'll like it, I think. Yeah, it's cool stuff. So yeah, but he was like a total all reference, always. And that's like, I know a lot of, I'm sure half or most artists, I would say most artists use reference. It's like part of the process, whatever gets you where you want to go.
There are those people that are geniuses, like Gustave Doré, they said, was such a prodigy.
Yeah.
Could just draw out of his head. And
Frazetta, too. Frazetta was like
Frazetta
that.
said he didn't use any photos, but I heard that he collected cameras. He had a whole collection.
But I never use them. I just collect them.
Yeah. I don't know whether he was just saying that but regardless, he was incredible.
Yeah.
I hear those too.
Yeah. So there, there's I think that's normal. And when I have students, I always recommend use reference, and that's how I don't know. It's a part of the process. It's like anything, just like we were talking about projecting. We were talking about projecting or using the grid method. It's like I project all the time if I'm doing a portrait because I feel like I'm not. It'll take me 10 times longer, and I'll end up over painting maybe and getting tighter than I want because I'm not getting it, and I keep going and adjusting. But if I have like a guide with from a projector, it just makes things go smoother and faster, and I don't want to struggle when I paint. I want to have fun, you know?
I know we were talking earlier about Greg Manchess, who I took some classes with.
Yeah, I wish I took classes with him.
He was offering some classes. I went out to the Washington State to study with him one time and do little thumbnail drawings. But he was talking about how he uses projection to get a leg up on the competition. So I've tried some of that myself, and it's very helpful if you've got a deadline and things like that.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to learn how to paint from life and
right
too. But I've used it before, and sometimes what I've done is taking my photo reference and then using a carbon paper and just tracing that. Once I've done a Frankenstein kind of a quality on my reference images and bring it in there. But then when I get to painting, as you're covering that stuff up, you've got to know how to paint anyway.
Yeah,
all that stuff goes away.
Right.
Paint it.
Yeah. It's like reference is just another tool. And everyone, that's another thing I always recommend is, life drawing, painting from life. Just do it from life, set up a still life. But it's all, it all comes to it all works towards the same goal,
Totally. Yeah.
So yeah, I want to hear about your art journey. Were you the art kid?
Well, do you want me to start in the
well, usually I ask if you were like an art. Were you like an artist as a kid, or did you come to it later? Because it seems like most people are on this podcast started when they were kids, but some of them didn't start until in their 20s or even later sometimes.
I think like all kids, I probably was using crayons and stuff when I was a little kid and just kept going. But, my mom became a hobby artist when I was young. I grew up in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and she just started taking painting lessons and stuff. I remember her making a copy of a Renoir painting.
That was a thing back then.
Yeah.
Regular people painted. That's what those Walter Foster books were.
Oh yeah, we had all those Walter Foster books. So I was
great.
watching her like in the den. She had a corner where she was painting. I was like, wow, that is really cool, and I got really interested through her. So she started giving me art lessons. I was with some lady named Mrs. Gisler, I think, when I was like a little kid, and she had, so we were drawing in there and stuff. But I've been interested since I've been a little kid, and my mom then became very encouraging.
That's great
to me.
Yeah, that's so important.
He's not alive anymore, but
rest in peace.
So it was helpful to have.
Yeah, that's amazing. A lot of people don't have that encouragement, and it's like another hurdle. I was
lucky about that, though. Yeah,
it's like hard enough with encouragement. To make it.
It is. Yeah.
So you went to school. I mean, you're an educated artist. You went to art school. You're an art teacher. I heard you were in animation. So I want to hear about this long and storied career.
So in high school, I graduated from high school in 1973. But when I got interested in art, I was studying with a woman also as I was in junior to high school named Pat McGuffin, and she had studied with a guy named Frank Riley in New York City. And she was in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I was very lucky that she was there. So we learned how to do wash-ins and the 6-line figure, learned how to draw, I don't know if you've heard of the 6-line. You probably have heard of the 6-line figure. It's kind of like a Loomis.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it was a Frank Riley where you'd find the action. It was sort of a system of drawing. And so I got into all that quite early. And my heroes then was James Bama. I just remember
James Bama. My dad turned me on to him.
As just a high school kid, I was into that. Then, of course, when comics came out, I was a huge R. Crumb fan. Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers. I was drawing all that stuff. So I liked comics. And I was getting this kind of a classical education. But back in those days, realism was like made fun of. No magazines were talking about it.
Yeah.
There was American Artist magazine. So I could see Burton Silverman, Harvey Dinnerstein, Aaron Schickler, David Levine. Those were the contemporary artists that the only ones besides Norman Rockwell I knew about. But I was slowly getting kind of an education. Then I got into Sargent. In fact, I wanted to be Sargent so bad. I thought, man, I wish I lived in the 19th century and all this stuff. But the thing was, once I fast forward to now, I mean, he's so great. I can't emulate the guy. He's just too much of a genius.
Yeah.
I could never do what he does. But I still admire that guy. I mean, he's
Oh
incredible.
yeah, he's incredible. Yeah, we talked about him on the last
Yeah, I
podcast, I
remember
think.
hearing you mention him. I was
Yeah.
lucky enough. You had asked me to be in the podcast a couple months ago, and my wife and I were just going out to New York just to see this, just for a week to see the Sargent show and go to all the museums.
Oh wow.
I have a friend that lives out there, and we went to just the Frick Museum. There was a show there. Anyway, it was really great.
Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah. Yeah, you're a Norman Rockwell fan as well, right?
Huge Norman Rockwell fan.
Me too.
I have his. Have you ever seen this book, Rockwell on Rockwell? It
Mm,
goes over his whole
I don't
method.
think. Oh no, I don't
His
have that one.
method where you do a idea sketch first, just out of your head, and then once you got a good story or idea, then you find your models and kind
Mm.
of put that all together, shoot your reference, and then start, making your preliminary drawing, and then from there you do color sketches, and then you paint the painting.
I got to get that book. I'm gonna
Yeah,
write
it's
that
really
down.
book. It's called Rockwell on Rockwell, and he he goes into all this. I just had it here. I
Oh wow.
kind of anticipating you asking me stuff, and
Oh yeah, I love that.
he talks about. Bill, I'm giving a little interview about the Rockwell on. It's a great book. I actually have had this since I've been in high school. My folks gave it.
Wow. Oh, that's so cool.
I think it's hard to find now. It's probably out of print,
Yeah, I'm sure.
but
Yeah, you look on eBay though. Every
I'll
once in a
bet
while,
you
you find it on
somebody
eBay.
has scanned the thing, and there's a
Yeah,
PDF on it or something out
yeah,
there.
yeah. That's true. Okay, so anyway, art school, art school.
Yeah. So okay. So back then, I went to the Art Center College of Design right out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. But I was this green kid, never been in a big city.
Mm,
Tulsa back then was just cultural vacuum, pretty much. And
mm-hmm,
now it's become really hip there.
mm-hmm.
Uh, but back then, we didn't know much about it. So I went out to the Art Center College of Design and spent a year there, and then going a little crazy, discovering drugs and all that stuff. Which now I'm completely sober, but I went through a whole crazy period with all that stuff.
Yeah.
That probably could have gotten farther if I hadn't gotten into all that. But then I went out to New York and studied at the Art Students League, and that when I was at the Art Center, going back to Los Angeles, I was really into Harry Carmian. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He had
No.
studied with a guy named Lorser Feidelson, and Carmian was just this incredible, charismatic draftsman, and we would do live drawing. He would throw his pencil across the room. He'd break a pencil and get another one. And
Yeah,
he
old
was
school
really
guys.
incredibly skilled. If you look up Harry Carmian ever, so I studied with him and learned a lot about drawing. That was kind of a continuation of the Pat McGuffin stuff I had learned in Tulsa. But then I wasn't getting enough painting at all there at Art Center. I was
Hmm.
there one year, and I was probably too young to be there. I was only 18, and then I had discovered drugs, like I said, driving backwards down Melrose Avenue, and the weird shit like that. So I went out to New York City, and I studied the Art Students League, and that was great then because I did get to study with a lot of realists, like a guy named Brackman, who's now, most of these people are dead.
Yeah.
Bill Green died. I got to study with him. David LaFell. They
Oh
just
yeah, he's great.
classes. If you go to the Art Students League, you can just almost go into anybody's class.
Wow.
I got to privately study with Burton Silverman, and the problem was I was a bit of an arrogant kid and thought I knew everything, and I really got shot down at one point. So that kind of cured me of that kind of a thing, uh, and humbled me quite a bit. But I would say Burton Silverman may have been my main teacher. I learned a lot from him. He's still kicking. The cool thing, or the main thing that many people know about him is he did the Aqualung cover
Oh, okay.
in
No way.
watercolor. Yeah, if you ever see that.
Yeah, yeah, I know that.
Did so much more than that, and he's probably a bit chagrined that he did that cover because I think he probably only made a $500 or something on that, and tried to
Yeah.
get more money after it got real popular. But Ian Anderson never wanted to to kick back any more money on it.
Yeah, I think I read an article about that actually. It was kind of a
His
thing.
son wrote an article about it, and I think there's other articles about it.
Yeah,
But he
wow.
was a really great teacher and a wonderful guy. Later, I wrote an apology letter to him. I don't know if he even would remember me. He's
Well,
probably
why did you apologize?
well because I thought I had been such a jerk in his class, and he, again he probably doesn't remember who I am, I imagine, or would never even think probably gone out of his brain. He's about got to be 95 to 97 years old by
Oh,
now.
wow.
He's still
Yeah.
kicking out there.
Amazing.
But yeah, I got to study with him. Uh, After that, I think I came back to Tulsa, Oklahoma and taught for a while and, just painted and eventually moved to Santa Fe, New Mexico and painted out there. In the
Hmm.
early days, I just painted flowers, fruit, tons of still lives, very conventional looking things. I call
Hmm.
it, I hope this doesn't seem like I'm anti-feminist to say this. I call it my old lady art, or maybe I should call it my old man art, but now I am an old man. But it was just flowers and fruit,
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. I paint a pretty girl. I went outside and painted from life, landscapes all the time. And I did that for years in Santa Fe. I lived there 9 to 10 years and then moved
You're
to
making a
L.
living selling that stuff?
Yeah, yeah. I was selling a lot of still lifes. In fact, I'm so old now that a lot of the people that bought those paintings are dying. I'll get emails. Are you the artist that painted this
Hmm.
landscape or this still life? And they'll send it to me.
Wow.
That's a weird thing when your paintings are in collections. And in fact, I didn't keep good records back then. I do have photographs of all those old paintings. I haven't even put a lot of those online. I've got some of them on my website. I had to start putting more of that old stuff
Oh,
up there
yeah.
because
I'd
I
love to
did
see
like
that.
hundreds of still lifes from life,
Yeah.
portraits and figures, but I sold mostly the still lifes. And then when
Hmm.
I started doing big figure compositions, those really weren't selling. But I wasn't
Yeah.
doing really just a few imaginative things. And I didn't really get into the pulp stuff till later. I
Hmm.
kind of got disenchanted. I thought, oh, this realism isn't going anywhere. I got depressed. I moved to LA. My brother was living out here.
Hmm.
I had gotten sober in the meantime in Santa Fe. And so moved out to LA and I met my wife right off the boat and we started dating and that was around 96. And then I went to CalArts. I enrolled there and it wasn't as expensive back then when I went.
Right.
Got into the experimental animation program. I was always interested in animation. So
Hmm.
I made a bunch of films and learned about filmmaking. And then I started working for the Food Network doing, what were they called? Macromedia had a software. It was Macromedia Flash, and I got into that.
Hmm. Yeah.
And I was using Flash to create all my animations. At CalArts, I had learned how to use paper. And hope I'm not boring you with all this.
Yeah, this is
Going
what
on and on about myself.
this is what we're this is what you're here this is what you're here for. This is what it's
I
all
know,
about.
this is part of the thing. I was like, oh man, I hate being so egocentric to talk about myself. So
It's you're giving something to the audience. People want to hear your story. It's interesting,
thanks
so you're
again
sharing something
for
with them.
allowing me to do this. And I hope it
Of
isn't
course.
too dull for anybody that's listening.
I'm fascinated, so I
Okay.
figure if I am, the audience will be. So
Thanks, Chet. That helps.
seriously.
To make a long story short, I worked for a number of years doing these little animations for this one show called The Secret Life of, where I did tons of these little flash animations. I would storyboard them, and
Hmm.
they were only maybe 5 to 10 seconds, like the history of French fries. And I can't even remember. I put them all archived on a disc somewhere.
Wow. Yeah, those
Uh,
would be something to post too online. I
Yeah,
want to
maybe
see
I
those.
should start posting those
It's
because I've got
interesting.
them still. I think I can convert them all to QuickTime movies, and I think they started off that way, or I would have to export them to QuickTime, and there was
Hmm.
a codec that I would have
Right.
to use. I was using After Effects and all this stuff.
Wow.
Now I'm sort of not into, I forgot how to use After Effects, but I kind of got good at it back then, but now
Hmm.
I wouldn't even know how to set up a series of still photos to make some kind of camera move in After Effects like I used to do. And I even used to teach it after I graduated from CalArts, they asked me, I think the year I got married to my wife, which was 2000, September 11th. Wait, what is the when they hit the Twin Towers was
September 11th.
9/11. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's when we got married, a year before the Twin Towers got
Oh,
hit.
wow.
That's why I can always remember my wedding anniversary. Well, I wasn't remembering it too well just then, but I can always remember since it was 2000, we've been married 25 years because it's 2025. But
Right.
I was asked to teach out, and I started working in the computer lab, helping all the kids get their drawings for their films into computers. In the beginning, everyone was using big Oxberries, which they have down there to shoot photographically, but they kind of moved to digital right
Mm-hmm.
around the time I was studying there. So then I was helping everybody with After Effects and Pro Tools, and I had to learn about all that stuff. And after a while doing that
Wow.
a number of years, I just felt like I wanted to get back to my painting. I had just been doing that animation, but when my daughter was born in 2003, I started doing gouache painting, still lifes from life again, while I was teaching at CalArts. So I think I taught there about 20 years at CalArts.
Wow.
And I just wanted to get back to my fine art. And that's when I started getting interested in the weirder shit. Well, also what happened was just through, you know how it's who you know a lot of times. My
Yeah.
wife knew somebody that was like a scout for the backgrounds when they're shooting films, or what do they call that? The
Oh,
location scout or something like that.
uh-huh. Yeah.
And they needed somebody on a show to paint some paintings. And I was kind of out of practice, really painting a lot at this point, because I had just been doing animation and drawing
Mm-hmm.
for that other show. And so it was for a TV show called Medium with Arquette, not Rosanna Arquette, the
Patricia.
Patricia Arquette, the
Mm-hmm.
sister. And so I did a bunch of paintings for that, and I slowly started getting other shows doing paintings for them. And that's when I started getting interested in stranger stuff somehow.
Huh.
And that's when I also discovered James Gurney, and I'm sure you're probably
Oh,
familiar
yeah.
with him.
He's
And I really
amazing.
became a James Gurney fan and just started eating up his blog. He didn't
Yeah.
have any books out yet.
Yeah.
And I was just always going to his blog, and I always liked Dinotopia.
Yeah.
And then he came out with those books, painting what you can't imagine,
Yeah.
imagine realism. And
Mm-hmm.
that really exploded my brain and helped me learn how to make a lot of the stuff that I'm doing now. Because I never realized that artists made maquettes
Mm-hmm.
or how they did that stuff. I just thought they had models, but I never really thought of it before. And so
Right.
that's when I started getting into the imaginative stuff.
Okay.
James
Yeah.
Gurney.
Yeah. I have one of those. Actually, it's on the pulp artist called "It's a Man's World." Have you seen that book? It's about pulp.
I
Pulp.
think I may have one of those books, something
It's
like that.
it's
Men's
called
magazines or
yeah, it's called "It's a Man's World," and it's just all about the illustrators of the pulp magazines and covers. And I think it's in that book where they have photos of a guy, from back in the day sculpting a horse, just a rough horse maquette, so he can light it right. And I was like, man, that's amazing. It's like you can't. It's not easy to find a horse unless you live in a certain part of the country, and it's like. Okay, if if you know anatomy well enough and you can, I
yeah.
think sculpting,
You're a really good sculptor, and you used to do that when you did the makeup
yeah,
or film, right?
yeah, that was my main job for like 20 years. So I'm pretty good
Did
at
you study
sculpting.
sculpting like formally with any teachers, or are you completely self-taught?
No, I'm all self-taught from
That's
books
amazing.
and stuff. I was getting into makeup and prosthetics when I was sculpting masks when I was like 12. Like
Oh,
I was making movies when I was 9 and 10, and I was like drawing since I was as long as I could remember. So I was always like trying to do some creative thing, and I just was like super shy. So even if there were classes, I probably wouldn't have felt super comfortable taking them. But so I was very good at. I mean, I was really, I could figure stuff out on my own through books. Although I did take I took life drawing classes and some filmmaking classes and stuff. But yeah, no, but I almost went to CalArts.
oh wow.
I was like, I
What
had,
year was that? That
what's 85 when I graduated. And I was like, it was my guidance counselor was so upset with me because I had got the grant, the Pell grant.
oh
I
wow.
got, and I was, I think I was accepted, or I don't know what. We were in the it was one of these things where I was like just about to like, commit to it, and at the last minute I was like, I want to get into the film industry and do makeup effects, and I think I can do it. And I always wish I had gone back to my guidance counselor and let him know that it was the right decision, because I could see, as a kid, I must have looked like a dumbass for just going, you know what, I'm not going to go to college. But I
made the right decision because you got in it and actually made a career out of it.
Yeah,
a lot that go to schools, I mean, they never do it.
Right. Yeah.
Just take the classes and it doesn't happen for them. So I think it's smarter. I mean, it just depends. Things just happen the way they're supposed to happen.
Yeah, I know. It's like you do your best and hopefully you get some luck on your side, and you just got to go for it.
Were you making films on Super 8 back then, kid? That's awesome.
Super 8, and I got a little editor where you got the film and the tape and everything. That's what I wanted to do for a long time, is be a filmmaker. I was so into it.
Were you doing stop motion at all?
I did some stop motion. I did a couple clay animated things and stuff blowing up car models and like funny skits and my friends riding bikes in the 70s.
That's great.
I still have some. They're pretty funny. So at what point did you, I think that's interesting. I think James Gurney is like, I've been, honestly, I've been wanting to get him on the show, and I know someone who knows him, Travis Louis. And he seems
Travis Louis' work.
Yeah, Travis is amazing, and I think he would come on. But honestly, there's certain people that I would be kind of nervous. I'm so intimidated by him.
He's such a nice guy.
I know, but he's so good. He's so amazing. He's
he's a very approachable person. I went to Baby Tattooville, my first time with my wife way back. Mm-hmm. And he was at one of those, and I met him there.
Oh, cool!
Kind of like this complete fanboy. Whoa, James! But actually, I think that's why I went to Baby Tattooville, because I heard that he was going to be there.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, that was. I think that you could get him if you.
Yeah, I just need to do it. I've got like a small list of people that I'm like.
I think you're incredible that you've done so many of these podcasts.
It's kind of crazy.
Artist yourself, and you've gotten so many amazing painters. And
I know. It's so funny because me and this guy the guy who directed the documentary about me, Mike Carell. We started the podcast just for the hell of it, and we were just talk about stuff. We talk about like spirituality and whatever, occult stuff and supernatural stuff, and dark art, and then he left after, I don't know, a year or two, after about like 70 episodes. We were doing it once a week, and then I was just like, okay, I'm not one of these people that can just talk by myself. It's like, I'm not that guy. So I thought, I'm going to start interviewing artists, and I know a lot of artists, and I'll probably run out of artists at some point. And it's just like, once I start doing it, I was like, holy shit, there's so many. I'll never run out of artists to interview. There's so many of them, so many great artists right now. And it kind of made me realize what an amazing time it is to be a painter. There's so many amazing artists out right now.
It's so true. And I was thinking about that, like when I was in high school, how I just didn't see that many realists.
Right.
And it may have been that I just didn't have the internet.
Yeah.
If I'd had the internet back then, I might have been able to find more artists and more training. But today, I see a great artist, a couple great artists, or even more every day.
I know.
Instagram. I'm completely always getting deflated. Like,
I know.
That guy or that woman is so good.
This 20-year-old kid is so good.
There's so many incredible artists, and the art training has just gone like. I mean, people weren't making shit like they were now with all this academic art training, like the Angel Academy in Florence.
Yeah,
thinking, shit, I wish I was 20 again.
I know. I'm always like, man, I feel often like I should have never gotten in the film industry, and I just should have. If I would have started doing my fine art, I feel like I would be so much of a better painter. But at the same time, there wasn't even places to show that back then, really, and like in the 80s, there was hardly any galleries that would show the kind of stuff I was going to do anyway. So,
have you always been into the dark art, or was that a natural progression from doing the film stuff that you were into?
It was kind of, partially that, but I was always like they call them monster kids. You grew up in the prime era of the monster kid, which is the 60s when Famous Monsters of Filmland, that
I used to get Eerie magazine.
Yeah, Eerie and
Monsters,
and Creepy and Famous Monsters.
What's Basil
Go-Go's.
Go-Go's. I was going to say Logos. I can't remember. Basil Go-Go's. Yeah, who I met one time at Monsterpalooza.
I did too. I finally met him. It was so
He's a cool guy.
Yeah.
Is he still around? Or
no, he passed away. Yeah, he not long after I'd met him, I think. But I really wanted to get him on the podcast. But
that would have been awesome.
Yeah. So in my mind, you grew up during the golden age. Like I got a lot of that stuff from my older brother because he was 5 years older than me. So because I grew up in the 70s so 70s and 80s. So I the 60s though was prime time when they were just like, they had so much cool stuff. A lot of the monster toys, those Aurora monster models came out back then. And yeah. So it was always in my blood. And since I was a kid, pretty much, but the film stuff definitely influenced me, but I was always into it. I was always into Giger. I was always into Frazetta and all the fantasy type weird stuff. It's just I just felt like when I started painting, I was like, I didn't start until I was in my early 30s or mid 30s when I started painting, and I was like, okay, and I'd been in the film industry for 15, 20 years, and I was like, okay, I'm doing this for freedom. I'm tired of being art directed to constantly. I want to just totally be pure artistic expression. I don't want any commercial consideration.
I can completely relate to that. Not wanting, because many times I get commissions and it's so difficult to
I know.
Well, even though it's great to make money and it's gonna make you the money, but like sometimes it's not worth it to me to have somebody dictate what I want to paint. I'd rather just do what I want to do.
Yeah, I only do commissions if it's something that like if someone gives me a good idea for something and it resonates, I'll be like, yeah, for sure. So if it's something that I feel like I would be painting, if I came up with that idea, I would paint it. Or that would be fun to paint this kind of thing. I'll totally do a commission, no problem. Like that, I did that Isle. I don't know if you saw. I did that Isle of the Dead.
I did,
copy, kind of, or like my variation of it. Yeah, and that was like when he asked me, I was like, oh yeah, I would love to paint that. And I kind of like, it was almost like a master copy, but I never have done master copies really. But I was it's tweaked and changed. It's got smokestacks and stuff.
Yeah,
but I learned so much from painting that. It was so amazing because I
remember seeing that on your because I follow you on Patreon. I remember seeing it on the Patreon.
Oh yeah. It was.
We're working on it. You would give reviews.
It was really
fantastic what you were doing with that. Or what
thanks.
You were doing with it.
Yeah, thanks. It was really insightful because it really made me a light bulb go off over my head. Like, wow, this is why people do master copies. Because I ended up stuff I was looking at and having to analyze and figure out how to create this in paint. You go, once you're looking that hard at it and you're actually doing it, you're like, oh, I know exactly what he did here, and it's just like, I've been doing that before, so I'm on the right track. Or what's that?
I should do more copies. I haven't in a long time.
Yeah,
just to study, just as a little.
Yeah. Oh, but to finish what I was saying, when I started painting, I was like, I wanted to be pure expression. And so I thought, what would be the most pure expression I could have? And that was like, okay, I'm going to do monster paintings. Because that's what, as a kid, that's what I always was drawing. And it's kind of as simple as that. I'm like, nobody's going to buy this, but I have to do it. And I somehow found a market. The art market has changed so much since 2000 when I started,
Well, I just think it's incredible what you're doing with monsters because, nobody else makes anything like you. You are original.
Thanks.
When you see one of your pieces, there's no mistaking it's a Chet Zar, which is what an artist should be,
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. But
you have got such a distinctive style. For myself, I can't get out of myself enough to see what I'm doing, to tell you the truth. So I don't know.
I was going to say the same thing about you, though. You're obviously, when I see your work, I always know it's you. I never have to look at the name tag.
That kind of is interesting because I cannot see it. Like,
Yeah.
I really don't know what I'm doing half the time. I just try to do what I want to do and
Yeah.
see if I can get further. But gosh, I think it's the bar always seems to rise. I've been working out with a coach, just trying to do some weight training to stay healthy.
Hmm.
And what she says is like, it never gets easier because you're always raising the bar.
Right.
I was like, wow, it's just like the art thing because whenever you paint, I mean, okay, I can do things I couldn't do maybe when I was younger, but it always gets more difficult because there's always something new you're trying to
Yeah.
do. It seems to be difficult. And I remember yesterday you were talking about how painful it is sometimes to paint. And it was enjoyable too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I drive my wife nuts. I come in, I go, oh, I just hate what I'm doing.
I know.
And I come in and an hour later, I go, oh, I like I really like it. But it is can be very painful and
Oh,
hard,
yeah.
difficult.
Yeah.
And I think I need to stay healthy because I need another 20 years if I'm going to get anywhere with this stuff.
Right. Well, you're doing pretty good. I mean, you got a solo show at Copro coming up, which is, I saw that and I was like, oh, this is a perfect time. I can finally pressure him into coming on the podcast.
No. That's really sweet of you to even think of that. I mean, you're a very selfless person, and I appreciate you doing that. I mean, it is a good time to do something.
Yeah.
Again, I felt like I gave you a really hard time not wanting to be on the podcast for so long. So I apologize again for being so hard to
No problem.
hard to get.
No problem. No problem. I understand. But the thing is, like, I tell everyone that comes on, everyone tells me after 5 minutes they forget it's recording and it's easy. So
It is. There is all I can. This is like going to be on there with all these people, but I do forget. But I kind of get reminded.
Yeah, I just reminded you.
It kind of goes back to it. Sort of like when I sleep. I have such an active mind. I have to constantly meditate to get back.
Oh, yeah.
Back to sleep.
Yeah, right. Yeah. That you're a meditator.
Well, I've occasionally during the day, or for a while I was.
Yeah. I know I fall in and out of it.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep that discipline
every night the only way I can get back to sleep if I concentrate on my breathing, because I fall asleep fine, but in the middle of the night I kind of wake up and then my brain is just like goes over everything. So I have to just concentrate on breathing, not be judgmental, all those things that you do learn when you meditate.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you're a meditator too. I mean, that's actually,
I'm currently off the wagon. I go on. I was going good for a few years there, and it was like, and I what happens always is like some huge deadline comes up, and then the first thing that goes out the window is the meditation, because that's like 20 minutes I can save, and it's really stupid. But again, though, just like you're saying, at night when I'm going to sleep, if I can't sleep, I kind of try and make up at night when I'm falling asleep is when I focus on my breathing and stuff. But I feel kind of like painting is a type of meditation as well, because I really feel like my mind clears when I paint. I feel so centered and calm when I'm painting, when it's going well. Not when it's not going well.
I can relate to that a lot. That sometimes when you're in it, do you ever just lose track of time?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I so often I'm in it, and when it's going well, you're just like, oh, this is so amazing. And you don't want to like think too much about it because you don't want to take yourself out of it, but it's almost like I'm in the zone. And sometimes it takes so long to get in the zone. And once you get in there, you don't want to leave.
I've got a question for you. Do you work mainly at night or do you work during the day? When do you
I'm
most productive?
At night. I've always been a night person, and I try and go back to starting in the morning, and it just always ends up going back to nighttime. So it's like,
how late at night do you work?
When I'm more disciplined, I work until like 11 or 12 and just go right to sleep. And sometimes I'll stay up till like last night I went to bed at 1:30 just because I had to. It's like I was painting this Uncle Fester, and I was like, I don't want to, I don't want to stop. I want to do this in one sitting. So it's like the paint is, the paint sets up a certain amount as you're painting, and then it's like becomes so much easier to work with. And I'm like, I don't want to lose these working properties. So I just got to finish. My back is like totally killing me.
You did that Fester in one sitting?
Yeah.
That's awesome, Chet.
Oh, thanks.
Do you use a dryer in your paint, or do you just paint it without anything added in there?
I usually there. I've been painting with less of a medium lately. I'm trying to just paint straight oils because I do like the feel of it. But I also have this habit of using liquid. So it's like anytime I need to thin, I just dip a little bit in the liquid. So it's kind of like a little bit of liquid. How about you? I was wondering.
Yeah. I use Gamsol, but I finished my Gamsol and I actually bought some liquid. So I wanted to I played with liquid before, but I thought I'd try it more lately.
Yeah, it's great because it dries the next day.
I like that. I like it drying a little faster.
Usually it's because it's like I like to. I can never keep it wet enough to continue painting into wet the next day. So it's like I'd rather have it dry. I'd love it. Sometimes I'd love it to be wet still, but you can use there's mediums to keep it wet longer, which is kind of cool too.
When I was in high school, when I had mentioned MacGuffin, she would have us put oil of cloves in our paint
to keep the paint open.
Mm-hmm. And you mix it in there and it would stay wet forever.
Yeah.
It smells pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know how long it takes to dry anymore. I haven't done that in a long time.
I think it's like a couple weeks at least.
I think you're right. I think it just stays wet a long time. So I guess if you really want to have soft edges all the time, it might be. Maybe I should try that again. I haven't thought of it in a long time.
I want to do you know Mark Carter Draw Mix Paint on YouTube? Mark,
no, I
Carder. He's a really good painter, figurative guy, and he's got this whole system of painting because he teaches. But he sells paint. His paint company is called Geneva Paints, and he puts a medium pre-mixed in the paint. So they come out of the tube with the medium, and it's a slow drying medium. It's also self-leveling, so it's like there's not a lot of, you can't get a lot of that real textury stuff.
I have those. Wait, there's a guy. Oh gosh,
he's in Texas. I think he's in Austin.
There's somebody I bought some paint from that it takes a while to dry, and it's really, I wouldn't say watery, but very liquidy.
Yeah.
I feel like I could run over here and find one in one of my drawers.
I bet you it is.
I don't know. I don't want to get away from the podcast, but I think I've got some over there.
Thank you. You could do that if you want. I'm curious.
I find one really quick. Wait.
Yeah.
Where are those darn things?
We can look at your cool background. I've got one. I've got a fez exactly like that.
I got it. Geneva. Yeah. This baby.
That's it.
I was using those because and I can't remember the fellow's name. There's this guy that does these really wild pulp paintings, and I feel terrible because I can't remember his name right now, but they're fantastic paintings, and it looks like he paints out of his head too. But he used these, and he was talking about them, that he used these paints, and so I thought I'd try them, but man, they do come out kind of thin.
I know. Yeah.
There's a lot of medium or something, but yeah, they stay wet a long time.
I know. It's really, I mean, it's funny. I bought a set of those paints because I was intrigued because I was watching his videos, and I painted one painting with them, and I was like, oh, this forces me to paint differently than I normally paint. And I liked it though, but I really liked the painting with it completely wet, because I'm kind of usually I'm like waiting for the paint to stiffen up. Like I block things in and I'm waiting for the paint to stiffen up to paint. I've just got that feel for it just because of how I work.
I can relate to that because I kind of like that too.
Yeah. And so it's almost like a timed experience in a way. But with those, it's like, you have to, it's just forces me to paint differently. The only problem is I always have to get something done for a deadline, and I can't wait 2 weeks. So, you know
what? That may have been what I was experiencing too. I think I was just finding that it was staying too wet.
Mm-hmm.
But I have the opposite problem when I don't use those kind of paints, that the paint just dries so fast on my palette. And if I'm pre-mixing a lot of colors, like I kind of got into doing a lot of pre-mixing because James Gurney was suggesting that. And I'll do these color gamuts, or I'll use the color wheel.
Mm-hmm.
Use just a section of the color wheel. So then I'm making all these color strings, and I'm spending all this time, painting like a yellow all the way to like a burnt umber or umber kind of a tone with like 3 or 4 colors. And then they start drying after a week. And I've spent all this, and then I have to scrape them off and remix all that stuff.
Right.
Using that gamut So
I mean, if you
I feel like I'm wasting the paint a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, if I could see that being a problem especially if you're working on large pieces like that.
Yeah, well, I don't work too large anymore. I used
No.
to when I was younger, but I think because, I mean, I sell, but my inventory is increasing. I have these flat files, so I'm painting on smaller boards because, man, if they don't sell, I got to store them somewhere.
Yeah, I know.
And so I'm running out of room.
I know. The same way. It's like I have some paintings I really like of mine that I haven't sold, and they're the big ones. It's like the
Oh
big
my
ones
God,
are.
I got some really big ones I've never sold. Maybe close to the size that Dobsky sometimes paints, but I
Oh wow.
can't get rid of them. They're just stuck in some storage areas up there.
Yeah. I've never. I still haven't painted my giant epic yet. It's like I've only gone 36 by 48.
That's pretty big.
It's pretty big. It's pretty big. But I mean, I want to do like a 6-foot one or something.
Yeah, I have two large ones like that. Or I had a couple more. I painted them when I was in my late 20s, early 30s. And yeah, one of them was donated to a museum, so I could get rid of it. I had another one that somebody got, so I have one that somebody owns, but the other ones are up there if anybody wants them.
Yeah.
Give me an offer.
put them on. Are they on the website?
They are. They are. But I don't know. Yeah, I think the sizes are on there. Anyway.
So what? Let's see. I wanted to ask you about your show.
Yeah.
What's the deal with the show?
Well,
do you have a concept? Is it just kind of
so
whatever,
it's a good question, Chet. What I did was I kind of feel like I took the attitude of, like, let's say I was a musician like Neil Young, making all these tunes and creating as many as I could and then picking the best ones for their album. So I just started painting. I wasn't editing any ideas out. I just was going to paint anything I wanted to. And I took 2 years to do this, and I came up with 17 paintings. I mean, I rejected
17?
Aren't done. What's that?
17, you said?
17. I got 17. The largest one is, what is it, 30 by 36 by 35 or something like that. So that's about as large as I got. Most of them are 24 by 20. But when I looked at a certain amount of them, I thought, okay, these are all kind of supernatural. So I decided just to call the show Supernatural.
Oh, great. I love that.
And they're somewhat darkish. I mean, I guess.
Your stuff I feel like your stuff, most of the stuff I've seen you show at Copro has a little bit of that darkness in it in one way or another. You know what I mean?
A little
bit of an edge to it, kind of, in that way,
Yeah, I mean, I used to do more monsters for sure, and I admire what you're doing with the monsters, and I've
seen you've got some amazing stuff on your website of, like, weird nightmare images and serpents and stuff. It's really,
how it is. Sometimes you just don't get ideas. I mean, that's the main thing. I'm working on an idea for something. I don't want to even say what it is because I always feel like I'll jinx it.
Yeah, I know. Me too.
But it's like doing the little idea sketches, trying to get something to come out. But so I just make these little sketchbooks and then I go out and find the models, and I just started making this stuff. I did do a bunch of still lifes this time, and there's a bunch of them with skulls in them, and my wife goes, "You can't always have a skull in this. Do one without a skull." So I did one without a skull. I did them round, and I did them from life. And I did some with the iPhone. I did some time lapse of me making.
Oh, great!
But I know that you do this a time lapse of the whole thing. I've been having a hard time, it's like, okay, I don't want to just set up the camera. I just want to get to painting.
I know. It's definitely
hard to do.
It definitely is a pain in the ass. And when I find that when I paint something, maybe if I'm in a rush, I'm like, I'm not even going to deal with doing the time lapse. Once in a while I'll do this.
Then after you don't do that, you feel bad, right?
Yeah, you feel guilty. But when I go into paint, I'm like, oh, this is so much nicer. I don't have to worry about stopping the camera. I don't have to worry about, because a lot of times I'll stop the camera and then I'll start again and then I'll forget to turn it on, and then I'm like, then I have to turn it back on, and it's just one more thing to think about. So it really is kind of a pain in the ass. I really wish I just had, like, this one red button I could push that was like turn everything on, and that's it. I don't have to worry about arranging the camera, but that's not the real
hardest
world.
thing, but you seem to do a really fantastic job of it. And when I've watched your time lapses, which are so interesting, you are able to get that painting in there. I know it's maybe slightly turned because you've got that's the hardest part.
Yeah.
But you do a great job of keeping it in there.
Oh, thanks. Well, I was using this camera, which is now I use exclusively for the podcast.
What camera do you use?
It's a Canon. It's a DSLR.
So you've got a DSLR that you're using to even do this podcast through.
Yeah. It goes into like a digitizer. It's. I want to get a better camera and a better lens, but I can't afford it. But what happened is I was using a PC. I poured a cup of coffee into the top accidentally and completely fried the computer. So I had to. Shit. So it was a good thing because I ended up getting another Mac because I had a Mac in my office, and I got another Mac, and I'm completely in the Apple ecosystem, and it works with my phone. And
I use.
It's a Mac Studio, the little the little boxes. You have to get your own monitor. It's like from a couple years ago.
Is it like the Mac Mini?
No, the Mac Mini is a little smaller. It's called Mac Studio, and it's a Mac Mini with more ports, basically.
Like a little box.
Yeah. It's great. I love it.
Like that. I thought that what I have is the Mac Mini. It's got the new chip in it.
Yeah, so that's what I got. Yeah, Mac Mini is just like the...
Yeah, I had to get a monitor for mine, too.
Yeah. I think, like I said, the only difference really is it's got more ports in it. The Mac Studio. It's more expensive, and it's got more ports.
That's worth it, because mine does not have there's ports on the back, but I could use...
I know.
A thing to expand the ports.
I still don't have enough ports. Because I got all these hard drives, so I had to get like a hub thing. But anyway,
have your iPhone up there, so
so this is
doing time lapse too. Ever?
This is what I've been using lately since. That's
what I've been using for mine.
Since I blew my computer up and I had to get a Mac, I wasn't able. Like I have a camera that there's some webcam that before I was filming on my palette. So if you look at the old time lapse videos,
right, you have your palette.
I have my palette.
Well. That is a cool idea.
I know, but now I can't do it because I have to get a new second camera that will work with the Mac because this camera does not work with the Mac. So I've just been using this old iPhone 10, which has a great camera in it that I just have, and I don't use it because I upgraded, and so I just put it down here, set it on time lapse mode, and just record.
A nice, very flexible.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Dang, that's awesome.
I don't like that it goes like that, but once you get it still, it's pretty handy.
But I love the way you do the palette too. That's highly professional. When I see, where you can see the painting and also see the colors. I'm
going to do that again at some point.
If I could, but I'm going to have to get a second camera. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to. And I found I use OBS. There's a program called. It's a program that this is what I'm recording. We're meeting on Zoom. I'm using OBS to record the screen of my monitor. So it's like a recording video recording software. So you can attach as many cameras as you want into your computer, and it'll come up on OBS, and then you can have multiple camera angles, which is how I do the.
I'm not sure if I completely understand. Is it being recorded internally then? No.
Yeah.
Recording the actual monitor or something.
It's recording the computer's recording the monitor with the audio and everything. So it's like OBS is like a video, it's almost like what they used to use in TV stations where you could switch screens from different cameras if you want. Like you could, you have two, you know what I'm saying?
Different camera angles.
Like a new,
more interesting for the viewer and more professional. I think.
Yeah. So I still need to, upgrade my system here because I want to get back and I want to have the palette also in my videos. But anyway, what were we talking about? Oh, your show. So tell me. That's what the show is all about. It's these conversations that go all over the place.
Got a good memory to go back to what you're talking about. I don't know what were we talking about.
I got a terrible.
How you're doing your time lapse.
I've got a terrible memory, but
I think my memory's shit.
Oh, my memory is so bad. Anyway, so what kind of supernatural are you doing? Because I do like your stuff that is more kind of mysterious and supernaturally, with kind of spirits and spiders and stuff. So it's like, what kind of stuff are you doing for this show?
I'm doing a lot of stuff with these weird puppets and skulls.
Oh, great.
Big collection of dolls and stuff. So I did one with a girl whose arm is turning into a puppet. I was going to have the puppet master kind of like zzz, edited that out, and it just seemed to be simpler that way. I did a lot with kids. I've already put I've got 17 paintings, so I've been trying to keep them secret, though I did enter a bunch of them in the Alamara Art Prize, and they got into the online show. But there's so many people that enter that show that it's in Spain that I doubt anyone's seen the painting.
Right.
They're online. So there's 5 of those are in the Almanara, but I'm going to try to start putting them on Instagram to try to, Instagram, I hate it. I used to get so much more traction. I think the show I had the first time at Copro, which was right around the pandemic, 2022, I showed there. I would get 400, 500 people right off. Mm-hmm. Now I get 30, 40.
I know, it's terrible.
I don't really get what happened.
It's because of TikTok and how they switched the algorithm to favor videos of people talking. That's why I do those rant videos.
The ones where you go, fuck this. Yeah, I love those.
I have a sale going on with just like a $20. I do these open edition 8x10 prints, just to super affordable prints, and so I'm having a sale through Halloween, and I keep promoting it. And it's like I'm getting a few sales, but it's not catching on. So I'm gonna have to do another one of these fucking videos that I hate.
The algorithm.
Yeah, just say exactly. Fuck the algorithm. But if you just curse and you're angry, the algorithm, I swear to God, the algorithm picks it up. It's so ridiculous. So
that's an interesting discovery.
It's like I was so angry that I had to make these videos that it was like real anger, and so I was like, I'm just gonna roll with that and make this video because it's honest, and it just and they took off. So it's like, I'm going to have to do another one. I was thinking today I'm going to have to do one because I'm trying to promote this stuff. So it's a nightmare.
I remember when I heard the Brahm interview you did, he called you the hardest working artist today. I think that's true. You do so much to promote yourself, and I'm always very impressed with how you get your work out there and the prints and the different things you do. You make your own frames.
I appreciate it.
Do casting. I mean, I'm kind of blown away by how much work you actually do.
It's really, well, because I have to. It's like but I mean, I love the work. So, and I like to work. When it's something I'm into, and I'm I want to see this succeed. I want to continue to paint. So, it's kind of what I have to do. And I guess, and I like hard work. I suppose I don't know. Like I said last night, I was painting this thing at 1:30 in the morning, and my back was killing me. And I was like, I don't care how much it hurts. I'm going to finish this fucking thing. Even though my back's like, stop.
But you did an amazing job. I mean, it looks incredible. What time did you start painting if you're painting all the way till 1 o'clock in the morning?
I started, let me see. I have a dog she's a pit bull. She's super sweet. So sweet. But she's a little nervous, and when she sees other dogs, she gets crazy, and she's really strong. So I have to walk her at 9:30 at night every night when there's no dogs around. So when I come back, I usually, start painting around, like, I probably started that around 10 or something. 11,
you painted that pretty quickly.
Yeah, it went faster than usual, this one, for some reason. Oh, that's what it was. I did the grid. I gridded it out, and then I drew it and got the likeness in the drawing, and then I sprayed it with Fixer, and then I went and walked the dog. So it was kind of prepared for me.
That's awesome.
But usually I do 9 to 12. I'll do all business stuff because my wife's best friend comes over and helps us with the business and kind of does like casting and stuff for us. And so I have to be kind of like in the business mode to help her, and then I print the labels on my stuff that I sell, and she packs everything. So after 12, I'll eat. And then if I have a podcast scheduled, I'll do that. And then, so usually now I've got, my son just had a baby, so he's got two.
Right, I remember that.
Yeah. He's got two
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. It's amazing. So he's got two stepdaughters that are going to school around here. And now that they have the baby, we've been picking them up. So usually I'm not getting...
That's a lot of work.
Not getting started until like maybe 4 o'clock. I'll start, and then I'll take a break for dinner, and then I'll walk the dog. And so anyway, I don't know. It's just like whatever I can.
We have 2 dogs as well, and they're really getting old, and one has a neurological disease. Oh. Walk well. So we also walk. My wife and I walk our 2 corgis like around 9:30.
Oh, corgis are great.
Yeah, but they're just getting old and having trouble. And
how old are they?
Well, the oldest is 15, and he's got a cancerous thing on his leg, and the only cure would be to give him chemotherapy or to amputate his leg. And at this age, you don't want to do that to him.
Yeah.
He's just growing, but he's still great, but it's kind of impeding his walking a little bit. The female is only 14, but she has a neurological disease that's affecting her back leg, so she needs help with her support. We've got a little like wheels for her.
Oh, okay.
Wrap her feet. We strap her in the wheels, and she can move. She's still got a lot of strength. And she's a wonderful dog, but around the house, she's like Christina's World. We call her Christina because in Christina's World by Andrew Wyeth, that woman had to drag herself up the mountain to get to her house. Well, this is what our dog Hazel does. She has to drag herself around. I call her Scooty. She has to scoot around, but she gets around. It's tough when you have these dogs like that.
I know, it's the heart. You never think about that when you adopt them. No. It's but it's so cool, and I don't know. There's something about the way that dogs adapt to whatever, and you could say it's because they're dumb or whatever, but it just seems like they just go. They don't have the same kind of brain that thinks things through. So they never feel sorry for themselves. Really, not really. They just kind of like something changes. Their leg doesn't work, and they just deal with it.
Yeah, they just kind of take it. As it is.
Exactly.
How it is now. When my dog can walk, I'm using a little strap to support her legs sometimes, and she's like, "Oh, I'm walking."
Yeah, it's like it's like we had a little Chihuahua that went. She lost one eye, and it got something happened. It was like getting all this pressure. They had to remove the eye, and then she acted like no big deal, and then she went blind in the other eye, so she was completely blind, and she was like lived a long time after that. She was fine. She would walk around. She found her way through her nose sniffing. It was like nothing ever happened. And she'd go out. It's funny because I remember the vet told me, I have a blind dog, and they just walk in circles in the yard. And I was like, really? And he's like, yeah. And so as I brought her home, put her out in the yard, she would just walk around in a circle. And she's like, but she was fine. She was had the same attitude. She was really nice and cool. And she was just like an old little Chihuahua that just was like, whatever,
Chihuahuas are kind of scrappy.
She was,
handle it.
Yeah, exactly. She was a real sweet dog. She wasn't like a yappy Chihuahua or anything. She was super chill. But it's funny that my wife, we have a black pug too. And
2 dogs.
Yeah. And total mismatch.
I love those pugs.
Yeah, he's so cool. He's so cute
they're
too.
like little.
Sort of. Yeah. And so it's funny, the only dog that he reacts to when she walks, he's really friendly to everybody. Corgis. There's a corgi in our neighborhood, and every time he sees the corgi, he like gets all like, and he's like starts scraping his feet like a bull,
So our male corgi, is great with people and good with our other corgi, but with other dogs, he's an asshole. That's how
our Valentine, our pit bull, is. It's like, she even she likes other dogs. Like my kid brings his dogs over. She lets his Chihuahua boss her around, and she never bites, and she could just kill that dog with one bite.
Oh, right.
And she's so loving.
Pit bull. They've got big jaws.
Yeah, really strong muscles. She's so the sweetest. I've had dogs all my life. She's the sweetest dog. But she was in the shelter for like 6 months. And so I think that like kind of fucked her up, because when we're out and she sees another dog, she just starts going crazy. So maybe it's like
trying to protect you too. I noticed that a lot of times if you're with them.
Could be, yeah.
But I've had or just seen pit bulls are just some of the sweetest dogs.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
my dog Skipper, who is the oldest corgi, was always in love with this one pit bull, female pit bull, before she passed away, and just loved her, and
Yeah,
they
yeah.
got along great. And
Yeah,
he
yeah.
loved that pit bull. It was
Yeah.
like our dog walker's pit bull who
Yeah,
helps.
they're amazing dogs. You know, they're
Yeah,
just they're just strong. That's the thing. Any
they
dog
are.
that you
And they're
train,
smart. They're smart. They got a big
yeah,
brain in there. They have
I
big
know.
heads.
It's
Like we're
true.
deviating from
Big,
art to dogs, but
I know. Yeah.
dogs
Okay.
are cool.
Yeah. Oh shit. Oh, okay. We're good. I thought we were going too far over. Yeah. When is the date of the show? We didn't even talk about it.
It's November 8th. November 8th. So we've got about a little less than a month. I
Okay.
guess
Yeah.
4 weeks.
This'll drop on Wednesday. I thought this would be perfect. It'll give people a week or two to
that's
listen to.
so sweet of you, Chet, to even think of that, but I appreciate that. I mean, that does work out.
Yeah,
And
it's perfect. No problem. Are you finished with everything?
yeah,
With all, oh,
I hate deadlines. I mean, that's why I told Gary at Copro, I says, I'm working on this now. Like I said, I've been working on it for 2 years. In fact, one of the paintings I think I started, I have a lot of paintings that I start and I put them in a drawer. So there was one that I called a headache, which is kind of the story of the birth of Athena, who was
oh,
born on
right.
Zeus's head. So I called it the headache. And that was started even maybe in 2021 or 2022. I'm not sure. I shot the reference of one of our friend's sons who played Zeus a long time ago, and Jennifer Fabos Patton came over, and I got her to play the part of Athena.
Mm.
And then I just hated it after a while. I says, I'm just sticking this in a drawer. And then I pulled it out, I guess, just recently. And I said, oh, okay, this is what I could do to it. And that's very helpful to stick a painting away for a long amount of time.
Oh yeah.
When I bring it back out, does this happen for you?
Oh
You
yeah.
play for a while and then you go, oh shit. Now I see why it wasn't working.
Yes.
And that's very helpful because I don't really have a lot of other artists that come in and can give me feedback, which I would love. I would love it if I had some artist friends that could go, "Oh yeah, this sucks, Dave, because of this." I know there's a lot of things that are sucking about my work, and I have to figure it out. That's the hard part. It's like a puzzle. You've got to logically be able to not be in your. And sometimes I can figure it out. I'll look in a mirror. I have a mirror, and I see reverse. Do you ever use that method?
Yeah, or turn it upside down or look in a mirror. It's
very helpful.
Yeah,
I'm constantly looking in the mirror. And
that's good. That's good.
So that helps me see my mistakes as I'm working. But then there'll be problems with something like color or something. But a lot of times that becomes apparent after I put it away for a while. So that's what I do with a lot of paintings. So anyway, over a certain amount of time, I was able to get them all done. So they're all photographed. I use the same guy that you use.
Oh, Larry
Underhill.
Oh, cool.
And I know this because he talks about you whenever I go over there. He's really a fun guy to talk to. And
yeah, he's great.
A lot of interesting stuff. So I went over there, got him over there, and then so they're pretty much ready.
Are they framed?
Yeah, I had to recycle some frames. So I've got a bunch of them sitting over here that I've put in plastic. They're framed. I had to get some of the round ones. And then there's a couple more that I get this gallery called Sherman.
Oh, yeah.
Sherman.
Yeah.
Well, Sherman, I think it's called the Sherman Gallery.
Sherman Gallery. Yeah, I used to get stuff done there.
So I live right around there. I live by the Venice High School.
Oh, okay.
So it's very easy for me to get them down there. And I buy the very inexpensive stuff just because collectors usually put something else on the frames. I just want them to be presentable. But I know some artists today are just putting wire and attaching stuff to the backs of panels and not framing them at all.
Yeah.
You make your own frames.
Yeah. You know what? I found that actually, because I've originally, when I started showing, I thought the same thing, like, oh, collectors are going to change the frame. And I found that they want the frame that the artist picked. They want to have the painting and put it on their wall. In my experience, they want it. They want the final piece that they just like and they can hang it and not have to deal with taking it to the framer and picking out a molding. I think there's probably maybe on the higher end of the collector scale, there's people who do that. But my experience has been like they want the good frame, because once I started, I feel like the having really nice frames kind of sells the work, helps sell the work.
Ah.
That's why I started doing those corners. It's like anything to stand out, and and I know how to sculpt and I know how to mold and cast. So I was like, okay, I'll throw these corners on.
Did you see the last show that they just had at the Copro?
I haven't seen it yet.
Candini is her name. I think she's from Italy, I think. She
Okay.
painted all these pictures where she had her own frames on them, and they were interesting, and she sold every one of them.
That's what I'm saying.
They're
It's
really
like
nice paintings.
yeah. It's just another. It's just like cherry on top, the way I see it. You know what I mean?
I thought of that. I thought if I could put some kind of really interesting ornate frame on these, but in the end, I just got this simple little thin molding to stick on them.
Yeah.
But I really would love to do that sometime. And I used to, when I did the still lifes when I was much younger, I would put like a nicer frame on, but I haven't done that in a long time. I'm kind of stuck with the
Yeah.
simple frame I could put on them.
I mean,
But
there's something to be.
it's a good advice but you do a beautiful job. I mean, you're casting little skulls and
Yeah. It's a lot.
it's
It's
interesting, but you really know what you're doing with
It's
that.
it's a
I
lot
don't
of
know.
work. Yeah. That's just like that stuff's second nature to me because I was doing it in the film industry. Working with silicones and casting. So it's like, oh, why not? It's pretty easy for
I've got
me.
a question
But
for you. Do you ever do workshops or teach how to create frames or sculpting and casting for that?
I have them on my Patreon at the $10 level. I have like tutorials, how my small frame tutorials. Like I basically for this.
Maybe I'll have to go on there and study that.
Oh yeah, it's
I could use some of that information, I'll have to say.
yeah, it's kind of a pain in the ass. It's easier to hire someone to mold it and cast it for you if you can afford it. And it's like I have a guy a guy in San Diego who does all my molding, and he's really amazing, and he's super high level workmanship.
But you create the sculpture that the mold.
Yeah.
So if you have a skull or a design.
Right. But what I do for the smaller ones is I buy just a cheap frame on Amazon, and then I put clay over it. So it's already got the lip, it already fits.
Wow.
And then I just cover it with clay and sculpt it, and then mold it in silicone, and then I can cast it in this resin stuff.
Oh,
So,
that's interesting.
I feel like most people who can draw can probably sculpt. I think sculpting is easier than drawing.
Sculptor, but I've made little maquettes.
I think it's easier because it's like it's what you see is what you get. You're not even. It's like sculpting. You're not dealing with the illusion of depth like flat art, like painting, like stuff we do. It's like there's this whole element of value and composition and making things look round that aren't. Isn't present in sculpting. Sculpting is whatever, it's right in front of you. If you have a skull or something and you have a piece of clay skull shaped, you can, if you take enough time, it's all the information is right there. You could just measure from your reference and just make exactly the way that looks. You know what I'm saying? Whereas if you paint it,
I'm so bad at sculpting. I can do sort of a rough, crappy sculpture just as a maquette, just to get the idea.
Yeah.
Not that as good as what you're doing. You're really good. I still think there's people that know how to take it all the way like you, and there's someone like me that, I can do a shitty one, and I certainly can't do it digitally. I'm a blender, but I have not really learned how to model or make sculpture in that program yet. I can use the interface for making certain basic maquettes for myself, but and I know you used to use ZBrush. Maybe you still use ZBrush.
I used it and then I forgot how to use it, so I need to learn.
That's a very complex program.
Yeah, but you know how it is. You knew all that stuff. You were learning that stuff back when it was hard to learn.
3D is really new for me. I took a class right around the end of the pandemic with Martin Whitfuth. This is interesting because Tom Bat.
Oh yeah.
Talking about that, actually took his first Blender class. That's the first time it's a free program.
Yeah.
It's on Mac. And I've had a mess with it ever since then. And I've gotten where I can use the interface now. But mostly what I do is for instance, I have a painting of a fly, these two little kids looking at a fly. I actually found on like either Turbo Squid or there's all these 3D places where you can find inexpensive models. Well, sometimes they're very expensive, but I don't want to pay a lot of money. I'll find something for $5 or $10 or something. So I got a fly, and I was able to that into Blender and then see it. But if I would love to be able to sculpt it. Now, Martin Whitfuth is amazing. He creates whole animals, an elephant.
Right.
I mean, he knows how from the basic shapes in Blender to create this whole thing. Then he'll texture it, and I mean, he's amazing. Plus, he's an amazing painter. I don't know how that guy learned to do all that stuff.
I know.
He's an incredible artist and a really nice guy. I learned a lot from him. He's very generous. If anybody out there wants to take his class, I was actually thinking of taking it again because I could kind of keep going with my I just don't know enough about modeling or that was hard for me.
I know it's hard. As the older we get, we start, I mean, I'm sure you feel the same way. It's like, I really want to do this. I want to get into 3D printing. I got to learn ZBrush. I want to do this, blah, blah.
Print, but that's a whole other layer of complexity.
And it's like, time is running out here. It's different when you're 30 years old.
You're only in your 50s right now.
I'm almost 60. I'm going to be 60 in a couple of years. And it's like, you know how it is. It's like
all relative. But you know what?
It's all relative.
It takes time.
That's what I'm saying,
But yeah, I would love to learn. I'm going to try to get better. It's just the discipline to go in there and do tutorials and practice.
I know. If you learned I think if you learned ZBrush, you could sculpt your frames in ZBrush and have them 3D printed.
I could not get past the interface, and this was before
I know.
Blender. It was so complex.
I know. You just have to block out a week and do all the tutorials. That's what I'm planning on doing. Block out a week, and I'm sure I'll be able to get around enough to do simple stuff, which is all I really want to do. But I would love to use that.
I thought of another question. I ordered the magazine, the heavy metal that you did the cover for, but I haven't gotten it yet. Do you know when those are coming out?
No, people are just starting to get them, so I think it should be
I ordered
soon.
it from one of the comic shops. Maybe.
Thank you. How nice. I appreciate that.
It's been so long since I ordered when you first talked about it. I don't even remember where I ordered it from. I know I've got one coming to me, so I'm wondering if those are.
I haven't even gotten mine yet. So they're supposed to send me a few copies.
I was just hoping that it didn't get lost or something. So that's good to hear. I'm looking forward to seeing that. And that's so awesome that you're on the cover of that.
I can't believe it. It's just one of those bucket list items because that's one of the magazines that was around during my formative years. Probably was like 13 years old. It was just like, wow, this is amazing. So yeah, I'm excited. But it's funny because it's
amazing. He's kind of reviving.
Oh yeah, he's so cool. Frank Forte's he's such a cool guy.
Yeah, he is a very cool guy, and he's worked on a lot of animations and television shows.
Super well rounded. I've had him on the podcast back when we were just audio podcast.
Oh really?
Only. Yeah.
I can't listen to podcasts when I'm painting, or very rarely, because for some reason I can't keep the train of thought in my brain. I just usually listen to music. So I have to take the time to actually watch a podcast and just sit there.
Oh, interesting.
And then I like to take notes because there's always stuff like even when I was watching you and Tom Bagshaw, forget his last name, just the stuff he was talking about. I thought, I got to write this artist name down or this.
Right.
Some paper to write notes.
Well, he mentioned that Rebel.
Yeah.
Have you tried that? Because I downloaded it.
I was on his Patreon for a very short amount of time. I'm thinking of getting back on it, but I saw that he was on Rebel, and I tried it. I would have to learn too. Again, it's got.
I know, but here's the thing.
What am I doing?
Here's the thing. Because I tried it, and it's way simpler than Photoshop. Way simpler. And it looks weird at first, but then if you start looking around, it's pretty simple. But he sent me this cheat sheet. Like, here's the important things. And he's like, if you know anybody who needs it, let me know, and I'll be happy to send this to him. So he's super cool about this. And there was things on there like paint mixing, push the X button and hold. It's like it picks up. You can hold the cursor over like any number of colors that you've painted on, and it starts to slightly act as if you're adding that color. Every time you tap the cursor, it adds more and more of the color to your mixture, and it mixes them like regular paints. It's really amazing. Really.
What he was talking about, how it mixes more like real paint.
It does, yeah.
just, I guess, digital paint, which I don't completely understand.
It's like if you if you have your color selected to yellow,
Yeah.
and then you have a blue spot over here on you take the cursor and then you hit, I think you hold X down and you tap the cursor and it starts adding a little bit of blue into the yellow, and it'll start turning green, or just like if you were to mix those two paint colors.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's really amazing.
They don't have that in Photoshop at all.
No other paint program as far as I know. It's really
I'll
good.
have to mess around with it again.
There's a 30-day free trial, so that's what I'm on.
I was just amazed on how he gets those textures, because like we were talking about
know.
at the beginning, is that it just looks real.
I know.
You see the texture and even an impasto kind of quality.
I know. It's crazy.
Plus, he's incredibly skilled and he paints those beautiful women.
I know.
I still don't understand how he's doing it, because he said like you were saying, he uses DAZ, and like really DAZ looks a little artificial and clunky, though I've seen some people can make really realistic models with it, but he just does a beautiful job.
It just shows what a good painter he is that he can take this rough DAZ 3D model and just eyeballing it,
Yeah, he's incredible, and wow.
Yeah.
And like such a nice guy.
Yeah, he was super cool. I couldn't believe that he'd never done a podcast before. It was so cool that he's like, I never do them, but I listen to the podcast. And so I thought I'd like to come on for my first one because he likes the podcast.
I thought that was really a fun one to hear.
Yeah, me too. It was great.
Last night while I was preparing my dinner.
It's funny that you say if I'm writing any kind of text, I can't listen to any words. I can't listen to if I put music on, if I'm writing text, because I have a hard time writing text, just trying to, like if I'm writing an email or I'm writing a story or whatever, I can't have any words on. But when I paint, I always have a movie on that I'm listening to, always. Documentaries or movies that I don't really have to pay attention to because I've seen them a million times, like old horror movies and whatever. And it's like, I always felt so guilty about that. Like, maybe it's because I grew up in the 70s when the TV was on all the time, maybe, and I was sitting and drawing. For whatever reason, it's so funny because I mentioned this on a few podcasts back. I read that Rick Rubin book about creativity. I forget what it's called. It's Rick Rubin, the music producer. It looks like a hippie.
I haven't read his book. I've read some books on creativity, but I don't think I've read it.
It's really good. I was skeptical at first, and I did the audio book, and it was like, oh, this is excellent. But he was saying that one of the techniques certain artists use are they put something else on to distract themselves in this. It's like it takes part of my attention away that I don't want for the painting and focuses it over here so that my mind, the creative part of my mind, it sounds weird, but it's like I can easily focus on the painting when I have this other thing on in the background. It's really strange.
I understand that, but mine's different. Like, I can't, if I have something that I need to hear that's information, like I could have the news on. Maybe when something horrible's happened, I might turn that on every once in a while, Sirius XM or something. But it's easier for me to just have music. And I know I miss stuff because I'll listen to Chris Carter's on the Underground Garage a lot of times. And I'll always miss his intro because I'm painting and I can't concentrate and go, wait, what is that? The music. I love just hearing good rock and roll music. British Invasion, Chris Carter's British Invasion is what I listen to. And I just like hearing the music in the background, any kind of rock and roll. And I just don't have to, it's just playing. And then I get lost in the painting. So I think I'm doing what you do when you're listening to a movie.
Yeah.
But it's the opposite. I can't follow it if it's going to be a story or a book on tape or.
That's why it has to be something I already know or something like a documentary
something you've watched before.
Yeah. So I kind of know what's going on. But if it's like a new movie I really want to see, I won't do it while I'm painting because it's too distracting. But anyway, I just thought it was interesting. I think most artists listen to music.
I'll have to read Rick Rubin's book or find it.
It's really good. I mean, here's the thing. It won't be anything new to you, but you will go, yep, he's right. That's the thing. It's like, as someone who's been doing it for all these years, you'll hear like, oh yeah, he's absolutely correct about everything he's saying. Because he just goes into creativity is all about and how it works and how you do it. And it's kind of, I think it's more for people who are probably not creative and kind of helping them to learn how to be it. But it's like, I didn't learn anything new except for that one thing where he was saying that was a technique, the distraction technique. But I felt like, oh, he's right. I know because I've experienced it. And he's saying, because I kind of thought before, he was like, what's this guy doing writing a book? He does not even done. He's like a producer. He doesn't play any instruments. You know what I mean?
The Beastie Boys or something?
Yeah, all kinds of Beastie Boys, Johnny Cash, Red Hot Chili Peppers, just like tons of bands. Super successful.
He worked with some of the big people.
Yeah, he was like the big guy in the 90s. What's that?
That'd be interesting to hear what he has to say about.
Yeah, it isn't. But like I said, it's nothing you don't already know. But it is interesting to hear it. You know, put into words and stuff. It's a good book. Good. It's good that it exists in the world. Well, I mean, we're at just about an hour and a half, so I don't want to keep you too long. Yeah. So the show is November what?
November 8th at the Copro Gallery.
November
8th, Vermont Station.
Yes, if you're in the area, I'll be there.
Eventually, I'll get a whole preview of. I got to ask Gary when he wants all the photos.
Oh yeah.
I've kept all that offline, except some of the things I've been putting on Instagram. Eventually, there'll be a preview of the whole show up there.
Good. Yeah. I know that a lot of artists don't like to show stuff, but I feel like I see both sides of it. It's kind of cool to not show it and then show it. You know, so you get the wow factor. On the other hand, though, I also have found that, especially through Patreon, if people are seeing a work being created, they become more invested in it. Kind of like they've seen it, they're seeing it as it's happening. And then by the end, they're like, man, I really want to buy that. You know what I mean?
You're keeping on Patreon, which is somewhat, you've just got your biggest fans.
Yeah.
They're paying for that. So they're not, because you don't put your time lapses on Instagram.
Not really. Maybe
so you've got to be a Patreon to see that. So
yeah,
you do have a little mystery going.
Yeah.
Your biggest fans that are already 100% converted, that are just like
totally
rabid followers, seeing you do those.
Yeah,
I was keeping them because I thought, well, fuck, if I reveal everything, there's not going to be any drama.
Yeah.
I saw those.
It's a valid perspective.
That's what I was thinking. I don't know what's right or wrong, but there's some truth to what you're saying, though. I think
it's different. I think it's different for every artist too. It's kind of like a personal choice. I just feel like they're both probably equally true. You know, it's like there are benefits to both sides of it, and it's just sort of whatever you want to do. Like, I know a lot of artists that are just like, I think Gabe Leonard, my friend, he's like, he's really
Gabe Leonard. I'm not sure. I must know.
You must know. If you look up Gabe,
wrote that down. You were talking about him yesterday. I have my notes, I think.
He's great. He's a guy that uses reference in a way that I find really interesting, because his stuff is slightly caricatured almost. Very good representational painter, but he gets models, takes photos, and then he makes big board of photos, and then he just eyeballs it. It's not about totally being accurate to the T. It's more like, this is the basic pose I want, and then he'll go and just paint it without any kind of like tracing or anything, because he wants that stylizedness of it. And it really works for him. But he's a really great. You'll see his stuff and go, oh yeah, he's a great painter.
But I've got it written down because that was somebody I needed to look at, because you had mentioned it yesterday. I remember when I say yesterday, when I listened to the podcast.
Yeah. Man, I was going to ask you. We'll have you. You could come on another time if that's all right. Maybe.
Sure, anytime.
Sometime in the future, because it's like I like to get into the weeds on technical stuff, and
no problem.
I would love to talk about just nerd out on technical stuff.
Love to nerd out on technical stuff. No, that
cool.
was fun to hear a little bit about what you do too today as well.
Oh yeah, thanks. Yeah, I appreciate it. And well, thanks for coming on, man. I'm such a huge fan of your work, and I can't wait for the show.
I'm a huge fan of your work, and I'm honored you asked me and that you kept at it. Again, I keep apologizing, but I know I gave you a lot of trouble.
I know.
I was like, no, I can't. I don't feel on.
Well, see, it wasn't that painful at all, was it?
No.
That's
I'm a bit of a neurotic, so a lot of times I'll go, shit, I got to go on and talk about myself. No, what am I gonna? And I go into this horrible cascade.
Yeah, I know.
Whirlpool with a drain,
I know. I feel bad. Sometimes I feel I don't want to pressure people because I don't want them to feel bad, but I just have to. I just try and assure them it's easier than you think it's going to be. It's fun.
It's really nice that you do this, and you're just doing it for artists, and
yeah, I'm trying to.
You're amazing. You've got a great heart.
Thanks.
Are doing this for so many artists. You just come in, you spend a lot of your time. You're not getting paid for this. You're just doing it.
I'm getting
amazing.
I'm getting paid a little bit through. I have a Patreon for the Dark Art Society, so it's not.
But still, you spend.
It's not really worth. It's not really worth the money, but
you're giving a lot of yourself.
No. I just think the artists in this. I think this art movement is so amazing, and I feel like more people need to know about it. And there's no one else really doing a podcast like this, so I feel like kind of an obligation in a way. Someone's got to do it. So,
well, I'm really flattered that you asked me to do it, and I can't wait to see the beginning with that music.
Damn it.
Again, I love the intro.
Oh, thanks. Well, thank you for coming on. It was really great talking to you.
Thanks for having me, Chet.
Yeah, of course. Don't hang up once I stop recording. And just the last thing you have to do is say goodbye to the audience in whatever way you want.
Oh, okay. I remember you did that when I watched it. So, adios, everybody.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for listening. I'll see you next time.